Hi, everybody. This is Lee, and I'm commenting on the fossil fuel company and the direct threat that they are posing to the water supply. That the reason why you see so many communities rising up to fight in various different ways, including divestment, nonviolent peaceful protests, direct actions, things like this. The reason why they're doing is because it's a matter of life or death. And we see with the situation in Flint what can happen to a community when the water is contaminated and poisoned, and that there is no oversight or regulation by the government, that the people are left vulnerable to the capitalistic whims of these for profit fossil fuel companies. Or even, as with Flint, not necessarily fossil fuel, but people who contaminate water supplies because it fits their bottom line without regard for the people that they harm. And these communities know. I mean, I think people instinctively knew at the back of their mind, but it's been very much brought forward by the action at the Dakota Access Pipeline, which itself was informed by Keystone XL, and then what happened at Flint, that water is life. If you do not have a clean source of drinkable water suitable for human consumption, you face death. And so this is why people are protesting. Their backs are to the wall. They have nothing to lose by fighting against water contamination. Once the water is gone, there's nothing. And so we see people standing up for the communities, not just for themselves, but for the community as a whole. This is in Seneca Lake, New York, that there was a storage company that wanted to store fracked gas in unlined salt caverns surrounding a pristine lake. And the community, of course, protested against that this was contamination, pollution being held or would have been held near a water source that would have contaminated the water and the surrounding soil, and then, of course, the community that lived in that area. And so people have been fighting for years. It's been a long road. They've had success. That they persisted with their nonviolent, peaceful protests and their direct actions, and that the company, Arlington Storage Company, backed down. That they were actually walking away from the FERC-approved plan to increase its storage of methane in unlined abandoned salt caverns along the shoreline of Seneca Lake. And so people credited the backing down of this company to popular resistance, and that one of the people who protested said that she took a stand because there's no choice, that this is drinking water of our families, and that the project threatens safety, and that they had to fight. They had no choice but to fight because without the water, there's nothing. It wasn't that they were protecting profit like this company, they were protecting their very lives. And so also each other. And so that they had no choice to do that because the federal agencies weren't protecting them. They had to do it themselves. And that the protesters ranged in age from 18 to 19 and just covered a multitude of occupations, from military veterans, teachers, town board members, nurses, winemakers, farmers, people who were involved, cancer survivors, and even chefs and midwives, people such as this. An entire community fighting against Texas-based corporation trying to kill them. And so this is what we're seeing. In a previous video, I named off about maybe 12 other pipeline protests around the United States, that people are in a fight for their lives, that no one wants to be the next Flint. Michigan, where people are still facing lead in the water, and they're also facing potential eviction notices from not being able to pay for or choosing not, or maybe not being able to pay outstanding water bills that are apparently coming due for the lead-based water that contaminated them in the first place. So people are fighting back. They're seeing the ramifications of what happens when a fossil fuel company is let loose upon various communities to do whatever it wants to without fear of repercussion or regulation. And so, if their backs are to the wall, if their very lives are in danger, if they face water shortage or poisoned water that they can't consume, then they have nothing to lose by fighting. And so this community did, and they were successful. I say good luck.